Welcome to Monster Monday, the most exciting video yet. Because this franchise is finished. We're done.
We're done with it.
We're not done yet because we still have to talk about it, and you're not happy about it. I know.
No.
But we're going to do it. Resident Evil, the final chapter. I didn't hold up the last one because I had packed it up at that point. But I did pull this one out. Kept it out so we could watch it. Aren't you excited that I remembered? You know you love this movie.
No, I hated this movie. And this whole franchise. This is like my least favorite franchise that I've watched ever.
Ever?
Yes.
In your entire life?
Yes.
Wow.
It sucks.
So, okay. I think Kaylee's done. You can go take off your makeup and relax. Yeah.
My name is Alice.
This movie's ridiculous. Dude, not only does the movie start with like the My Name is Alice recap bullshit, she doesn't actually say it there. No. Hilariously, the very last line of this franchise is My Name is Alice.
Dude.
And credits, and we were like...
That was like just a knife. They were just like, gonna stab you with this like stupidity even more.
Yeah. Man, the most hollow franchise that's ever existed when it comes to like character development, story. It is
design.
It's
like,
incredible.
style,
yeah.
All of it.
Editing.
Oh
your
my God.
favorite.
Oh my
your
God.
Favorite.
The editing in this. In all of them. 100% all of them are awful with editing. But this one I was honestly getting nauseous at times. I mean, like seasick feeling. Because the cuts are so fast.
Yeah.
It's like half a second of something, and then it cuts to something else when they're in battle. We'll get there.
Well, I was telling her, no, we can get there
okay.
now. Well, I don't have a lot to say, so I was telling her, it's when it comes to movies like this, when you do that like super fast cut edit, you know, Quantum of Solace style filmmaking, I always wonder, because I've never made like some big budget action movie, I always wonder what it's like to film scenes like this, because you're getting literally like 5 frames.
I know.
6 frames
like
of her looking this way, then her going this way, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then her doing this, and then her going like this, and then a blink, and then like it's nothing. It's a twitch of the finger, cut. It's so. How do you write that out? How do you storyboard that? And then how do you film it, right? Because like it's not like there's one continuous take that keeps getting edited back to, right? So there's like a lot of the times what will happen is they'll do like 10 different shots and they'll edit all those shots together and cut to them from different angles, or they'll cut to them back and forth. But you can tell if you watch it that this shot was shot lengthily, and then the other ones were as well, and they cut out pieces from that filming. But with this, everything's taken from a different angle every single shot, and there's 150 of them in 10 seconds, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating on that.
No, it's
but they're all like, let's say, and it's not even interesting stuff, it's just like you driving, right? So there's like one of like you from here, then here, then here, then here, then here,
it's
right? So you got to move the
confusing.
camera, you got to move the lighting, adjust the lighting, everything every time you move the camera, unless you got multiple cameras, right, doing things. But these are all different kind of action sequences, so like just trying to put together how, because you can't have a camera here and a camera here and shoot them at the same time, because this camera would see that camera, right? So it wouldn't even make sense to do it that way. You'd have to have like hidden cameras, which wouldn't be clear enough to put it into theaters. So it's like, how do you even shoot a movie like this? I honestly don't even understand. Like, okay, and action, okay, cut, action, cut, action, cut, action, cut.
I know.
Action.
I just assumed that they filmed like longer segments of like whatever, like her driving.
But
and, like,
they're
here.
nothing things.
I know, but then
it's
they
just
cut
her
it
going
to
like
such
this.
small portions.
But it has to, it's all supposed to be in succession, right? So it's supposed to, it's all supposed to geographically makes sense of like a fight sequence, right? So like when I go to throw my fist here, the next frame has to be like you reacting, then my fist coming forward a little more, then my fist forward coming. So like you have to do it. Yes, I'm sure they did the punch in this way, film the whole thing, then this way, film the whole thing, this way. But it's so juddery that it's only a punch. So you're doing a punch in 4 different angles, then going over here and doing a kick in 4 different angles, then doing this in 4 different angles, and then just editing it all together. It's like, oh my God, what madness
it's awful.
Is filming something like this.
Yeah. And it looks awful too, though. Like, just like, not only the filming process has to be like hell, but then the result is just like a horrible action sequence. Like, it's not satisfying, it doesn't look cool, it doesn't make them look faster. Like, it just is honestly like dizzying.
Well, it's supposed to be like frantic, frenetic energy, right?
I get that it's supposed to be frantic, but like, there's plenty of like movies that we've seen that have action sequences that like convey that sense of like intensity and like quickness and the frantic whatever, without it being confusing, like where they are or like what's going on or like who's moving what or like all of that.
It's a style choice typically used by very untalented directors, and unfortunately Paul W. Sanderson is just not that good of a filmmaker, period. You know, he's had movies that I like more than others, for sure, whether it's Event Horizon or Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is cheesy as freaking hell, but it's, you know, nostalgic as hell as well. But I'm not going to sit here and try to say that Mortal Kombat is a good movie. I don't think it is, but I still have nostalgia for it and I still like it, but it's not well directed. Event Horizon is a very cool movie. Definitely kind of the black sheep of his filmography, in my opinion. But when you look at these Resident Evil movies, especially these later ones, it is a style choice that is used in action movies, the quick cuts through the action, but it's one I just don't like at all. I'm not a super quick cut guy. Like, I get it. Like, when it's action and you're trying to add that level of like quickness and all this stuff, you do it so that the audience becomes like slightly disoriented, but like not too disoriented. You're trying to find a balance, but with this, it's like ADHD
I was disoriented
filmmaking
the entire time.
Sure.
I hated it.
If you were to compare this to like, so you have this like super fast cut, 1,000 freaking cuts in a minute, right? Versus this like 22 or 20, I can't remember the exact amount of time, minute long, one take that they just did in Extraction 2, which I just watched a couple days ago, which is fucking awesome, by the way. My favorite action movie of the year so far. But they're like, oh my God, the comparison. I want to show this scene to Kaylee, even though she's not a huge action fan, and even though like she hasn't seen the rest of the movie. It's so exciting. It's such a great sequence. It shows such incredible talent between the collaborators, whether it's the stunt coordinators or the lighting team or the camera crew, the director, the actors, everybody. Like, that shows you a passion project, something that people care about. And then this, which is kind of just like a product and a vessel for a man to show his wife off in like this franchise. And I don't know, like, he made 4 of these movies and he was involved in all 6 of them, right? He directed 4 of these movies. He didn't direct 2 or 3, but he directed 1, 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
He obviously had to care about it to some degree.
Sure.
But maybe it was just paychecks. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But regardless, he's like the Yule Bowl, as I'd said before, of like higher budgeted video game adaptations. This franchise is just terrible. I do like the first movie. She doesn't. I do. But then from there, we can agree the rest of these movies just aren't good. and the continuity is rocky. Like,
dude, no, Rocky. What it is?
No,
like,
the plot is convoluted,
bro.
obvious, and as far as like the third one being like a desert wasteland, and then that's just kind of forgotten. That's annoying. That's continuity. That's rocky. But at least when it's like, you know, they were last heading to Alaska. Then the next movie, it's like they're in Alaska,
but
right? Like stuff like that. At least that it's not just outright ignoring previous events.
I feel like almost at the end of every movie and then at the beginning of the next one, there's always like something that we were missing. Like, sure. Especially with this one. This one is crazy how much we don't get from where the last one ends when they're with like Wesker, who's like the president of the United States. And there's like the hordes around them. And then we just start this movie just with Alice by herself. And like, we don't even get an explanation until like a little later on when she's like, he betrayed us or whatever. Yeah. And you're just like, okay, so we're never finding out like how you were working together. Like you, even if it was like, slightly against your will in some way, like you were still like working with him and then you weren't. And like, what?
This is the lamest shit ever, because when Retribution ends, it ends with this like very video game-esque hordes of zombies, you know, like Gears of War horde mode, where you're just like, oh, okay, at least that's gonna be like, and it reminds me, of course, as I had said last time, it's like the ending of like the Two Towers, you know, when they're like gonna cross into Mordor and like you see the Nazgul and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, that stuff. It's like, okay, cool. Like, let's see this. I want to see Wesker and Alice fighting side by side with Claire and all them, and they're just gonna go to war from the White House. We're just gonna get this big battle. I was like, oh, the whole, you know, there's going to be like freaking Battle of the Five Armies, Hobbit, where it's like the whole fucking movie's a battle.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, I'm so here for that. And no. It just like, I was like, I remember you can go back and you can watch the end of that review. I'm like, oh, I'm excited for like that ending, because I think it could be cool for there to just be this massive battle in front. And, you know, nope. I mean, we kind of get that battle later. Right? But it's like, that's not what you set up. Why would you set up this epic battle?
And then not even
and then just ignore it.
Yeah.
Budget's the only thing I can imagine.
That's what it is, but it's super lame. It's super, super lame. Because I do think that the plot is very convoluted. Like, I don't understand what Umbrella Corporation wants. Like, what their goals are.
Well, they explain that in this movie.
I mean, they do a little bit, but
no, not a little.
Okay, but like
it's outright explained.
It's explained because it's like they want to wipe out humans because they want to like start over, and I get that, but like that doesn't, to me, like that doesn't explain like some of the other stuff, because all the other movies, they weren't trying to wipe out humans. They were still like testing on how to like control the virus, even though the virus was out, and then in this one they have a cure for it or like a way to destroy it. But they're not going to do it because they want to, like, reboot everything. Like, so I just think that it's all over the place, and I think it's super convoluted and super confusing. And I also don't understand what, like, I think Alice's role has been, like, very vague at times, and then it just changes so much, too. Like, why they even want Alice so much, because they have all these clones and everything, but, like, she's the OG, and she's got these powers, but then we find out in this one she's not the OG. I hate it.
Okay. I will play devil's advocate here, and I will try to explain the franchise really quickly. So, and this is just me kind of pushing the pieces together to make them fit, because it is convoluted, and they do contradict themselves to a degree, for sure. But as far as it goes, they purposely released the T-virus. Right? So as far as they explain in this movie, they have the doctor who tries to cure progeria in his daughter Alicia. That doesn't go well. So his daughter starts to rapidly age. They do perfect it, right? But then the T-virus is used, and not perfect it, but they do use it, and it kills, you know, the host, and it has the zombie at the beginning of this movie. The little boy who turns, and so they can it, right, and they're going to get rid of him. Because of that, the girl from the other inventor dies because of her illness. right? So then you have Isaacs, who's like, he becomes very religious about it. And he then convinces, because he's like Mr. Climate control, like the world, or climate change, sorry, that the world's going to fall apart and they're all going to die unless they push. As I said, becomes very biblical. And he even points to the Bible, like, nope, we got to wipe out mankind. So they purposely release this, and then they essentially, Alice is put in there as an operative for them, but she breaks her conditioning and she goes rogue. And then she's out there. So then what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out a way to get rid of Alice, right? Because she's the thorn in their side. And all they're trying to do throughout this, when they keep running their scenarios, is they're trying to figure out a way to wipe out the Earth's population, because until everyone is dead, they can't wake up everybody who's frozen. And Alice keeps thwarting their attempts to annihilate the last of humanity. And so they keep actively trying to take Alice down, right? And so until everyone's dead, they can't come out, and they don't know how to solve their Alice problem. Yeah. So I think that's all it is, right? Is just they're waiting until, and as far as like the threat of this is like they find the last holdout of humanity, and they're sending an attack team at that holdout, and the Red Queen is unable to stop it because she is under the restrictions of the program, but she doesn't have restrictions to tell Alice how to help, because the Red Queen essentially ends up being her, right? Because it's like 3 generations of Alice, whether it's Alicia, who's obviously, we find out, is Alice is a clone of Alicia, but Alice is the version that worked. Yeah. Right? So they clone her. The progeria is cured in her, but then he freezes her for the, because she has 50% of the company, right? So whatever. Anyways, I'm explaining a franchise that I find to be ridiculous, but it's there. Yeah. It's just, it is convoluted. It does contradict itself. It is ridiculous. Even and the Red Queen is so clearly the other doctor's kid. Yeah. In the first movie. Yes. And it's even stated, because I even looked this up because I was so confused, because I'm like, no, that's the girl who died from, the other guy couldn't get it done. Yeah. And they're like, oh no, they don't outright explicitly say that in the movie. And I'm like, really? I fucking swear they do. But I guess not. I swear they said it was like modeled after. But I guess I'm wrong, because when I looked it up, it was like, no, but it was said in like the Resident Evil, I think it was like Afterlife or something, novelization. It outright confirms that she is the kid of that other doctor, the one we see at the beginning of the first movie. But then in this one, they just kind of like, because they never outright say it in the movies, they just kind of retcon that idea that we all had filled in our minds, and we're like, no, it's the other guy's daughter, right? And cool kind of little side note here, the little girl who plays the Red Queen in this is Mila Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson's daughter. So it is kind of a little mini clone of Mila Jovovich. But so you got the Red Queen, obviously played by their daughter. Then Mila Jovovich plays Alice, obviously, and then Mila Jovovich obviously plays Alicia as well. So it's like 3 generations of the same person. As far as like Alice is a clone the whole time, that part's okay to me. I'm like, okay, like that's why she doesn't have a memory. That's why it never comes back to her. I'm okay with that. As I said, I don't really understand. I have to kind of fudge it to be like, why even bother? Yeah. Like, why have her be this clone that you fixed the disease in and then put her out in the field? Is it like, what purpose does that serve? Just to kind of see what will happen, and then...
So like, what could you have been?
Because she has like superpowers. Yeah. Like, but, okay... what happened to her superpowers in this movie? Because
I don't know.
she had them, then she got them taken away. She was just as powerful when she had them taken away as when she didn't have them.
Yeah.
Or when she did have them, I'm sorry. But she... The only thing is that she doesn't have like telepathy and all that stuff when he takes them away.
Yeah.
But then she gets them back.
Yeah.
But once she gets them back, she never goes back to like the telepathy.
I know.
And stuff.
Literally never
it's
comes
like,
back. And it's like you had that telepathy.
And her clones all had her powers.
I know. I think she's supposed to have her powers in this movie. But she just doesn't use telepathy anymore.
I think with Alice too, in addition to like they're trying to figure out how to kill Alice, they're also like trying to figure out how her body adapts to the T virus and no other bodies seem to be able to.
Yeah.
In a healthy way.
I get that. And like you did a fine job like explaining it, but I think
I saw you over there begrudgingly being like, fine.
Well, yeah, when you explain it and you're like, here, let me make sense of it. But like in the films themselves, when you're watching them and everything, it is convoluted, and they do retcon things, and it's like, I hate that. I think that's super lame and super, like, lazy to do, because it just, to me, is like, you don't actually have a plan for this franchise. Like, you're just making these movies to make money, and, like, bringing them out, like, every couple years or whatever. But there's no, like, long-term, like, let's, like, build a story about, like, Alice and, like, bring her through this whole journey, which is what I want in a movie for the most part. You know, like, I want character development, at least.
Question. Where's her daughter?
I don't know. She's gone. Dead. Just discarded.
Just bye.
She's like, I don't want you. You're a clone. I don't like clones anymore. I don't know.
They set up this whole daughter thing.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm your mommy now.
Yeah, you're not my real mom. I am now.
Yeah, but
no, you're not.
Not anymore.
Like,
I was only your mom for that movie.
She's not even mentioned in this movie.
There's no mention of it. Yeah.
And it's not like Paul W.S. Anderson came in for the final movie and was like, you know what, I just want to do away with that stuff. He wrote the last movie, too.
Yeah.
He wrote this one and that one.
Yeah, it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just, it feels super lazy and super, like insulting to the viewers, where it's like, they're not gonna care, like, we don't have to address that stuff, we're just gonna have her say, my name's Alice at the end, and everyone will be happy.
Because, okay, dude, this is how, like, just checked out I am during these movies, even though I think I did an okay job of, like, piecing everything together, cobbling it together. I don't really know how, because, honestly, like, I don't even remember half the shit in these movies anymore, and I just watched them. That's how forgettable they are.
Yeah.
But I can honestly tell you, I genuinely don't even remember where like it ends with her daughter. Like, I don't even remember where that ends, like, leaves off.
Yeah.
Like, what happens to her?
I thought
it's in Retribution that they meet, right?
Didn't, like,
or it's
Jill Valentine, like, take her or something? Like,
I thought that they went to the White House together.
That's what I thought, too.
And then he's like, dude, it's a 2-second line. Wesker betrayed me and killed my daughter.
Yeah, 100%.
Literally just say that and be like, oh my god, now the stakes are raised. Now she wants him dead.
Yeah.
And as far as Wesker goes, the dude is invincible throughout this franchise.
Oh my god, I know.
And then the door is brought down on one of his limbs. And he's like, I can't do anything.
He's like, I can't move at all.
I can't. I'm screwed.
Just dying.
Just here, hold this bomb, and then just let it go, and we're all safe.
Yeah.
What? Bro, that is some of the dumbest writing I've literally ever seen in my entire life. The way you build this villain throughout the franchise, then a door comes down on one of his limbs, and you hand him a bomb, and are like, here, Miles Dyson from Terminator 2, hold this bomb until you can't hold it anymore and blow it up at the most convenient time.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would he? Why wouldn't he be like, well, I can't move?
I know, 100%. I don't know why he would just, like, hold on to it for them.
Because he thinks
he's
gonna, Isaac's
like,
gonna win, and then he's gonna come over and defuse it. But
I don't
why
know.
can't he move?
I don't know.
He literally is like indestructible in the other movies.
It's this kind of thing that makes me think, like, did we miss something? Like, was he stabbed with something else? Like, what happened?
No.
I thought it was just his leg.
He just got fired.
Yeah, it was like he got fired, which meant that the
He's
Red
like,
Queen could be like,
I'm out of work. My life is I don't have freaking all my limbs now, and I'm fired.
I'm a bum.
I'm just a loser.
I'm just a loser.
I got no future. I don't even know why. When the world is over, why would you bother keeping around like a 50% shareholder in a company? Like,
I don't know.
dude, the laws aren't there anymore.
Yeah, like you're killing everybody except for your company. So
like people are gonna come out and be like, nah.
I know.
This company, it ain't yours. We're gonna go to the courts. What courts?
I know. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. This whole movie is dumb, and all the movies before it are dumb.
Yeah. I agree. But yeah, I mean, okay. The airborne antivirus.
No.
This, okay, dude, I will admit, I'm no scientist, okay? But I'm pretty sure that if you were to drop a small amount of an antivirus on the ground in Raccoon City, that the winds would not carry that across the world and kill every single zombie. There's no way that's accurate.
It's like the lamest thing.
Why is it not in some dispersal unit?
Like a spray bottle.
Like, no. Like, it's Raccoon, dude. We are talking about the Umbrella Corporation, which built these cities under water and ice. They built the Hive. They built so many insane things. And we see they have multiple satellites. So have it be that Alice has to put in the right thing or whatever to press the button that will then, send the antivirus, which is put out onto these satellites, and it brings it into the atmosphere and it explodes, and then it goes into the clouds, right, or whatever, and it disperses in a way where it would actually potentially cover a large swath of the earth.
Yeah.
To just drop a vial of something on the ground and be like, that's gonna spread across the world, because in order for something like that to spread, you would need hosts to spread it. Mm-hmm. But this is just the air is going to carry it across the planet, and it's going to take years. And it's funny, too, because this is finish the fight, and literally this movie ends with Alice is like, I'm not done fighting. Yeah. It's like, finish the fight! And literally what? You didn't do what the movie said for you to do.
I know.
Good, I hope it broke. Never watching it again.
No. Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking of how awful all these things are in the movie, but I don't even want to waste my time talking about them because I just.
The religious aspect of this is kind of ripped more out of once we get into Resident Evil 4, and it just becomes then a religious cult that sees the T virus and whatnot as the second coming, and this is a religion to form around, a cult around, which I love the idea of. But just the way it's executed in here, no. Though, if they would have went more Resident Evil 4, that would have been way cooler. But, dude, yo.
No.
So, are they telling me that chick that's running behind the truck ran for 12 straight hours? Because they're it's 12 hours away.
Yeah.
And then she rides her motorcycle over there. And then she's like, well, they'll be here in a couple hours. And it's didn't they just say it was 12 hours an hour ago? Shouldn't it be 11 hours from now?
I don't know, yeah.
I didn't understand that timing, and her clock didn't ever seem to make sense. She woke up in the truck and it was one time, and then she went outside and it was the time didn't match up at all on that. I was like, wait, what's this wrist timer thing?
They had a fight, and it's 5 hours pass or something.
Yeah, I don't.
And she has 2 hours left. I was like, what? That was 5 hours?
Yeah, it was a big long fight. And as far as pouring barrels of kerosene
Gasoline or whatever
petrol
down.
or whatever the hell it
You
was.
probably should let it.
You should probably let it like hit the ground and actually start covering people before you light it on fire.
Yeah.
Because if you light it on fire as it's going down,
it's just gonna go up.
It's just going
and like explode the container.
Bare minimum, it's gonna burn out the fluid before it even hits the ground. So it's just gonna evaporate as it's burning, and it's just gonna kind of keep a stream and burn off before it hits the ground.
Shouldn't it just follow the stream up though? Like it should just continue. Like
so
if you light it.
It shouldn't because it's not working because it's pushing it down. I don't think it sucks back in. It's kind of like the idea of like when you spray and you light it on fire, it doesn't suck back into it because the pressure and the gravity is pushing it away from it. So I think that works, right? But I wouldn't try it.
No, but
don't take my scientific advice. I'm just saying I don't think it would.
Yeah.
But regardless, dude, yeah, I don't think that if you were to pour it off of a ledge and then light it on fire, the fire wouldn't like go down and create like napalm.
Yeah.
Like that's just not. I can't imagine that's how that works.
No.
It could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it smelt like bullshit.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. It looked cool, I guess, but I don't think. We got Ruby Rose in here, who like I think this was like the first movie she was cast in after her appearance in Orange Is the New Black, which I was excited about back then. Now I just don't care because these movies are ridiculous. The laser room scene is like so convenient because like number one, as I'd said before, like why not just start with the diamond shapes?
Yeah, like why do you have to go?
Why even bother with like this
like level 1?
Yeah,
level 2.
It's like a video game.
Yeah,
right.
It's super lame though.
It's like tryouts.
It's that like villain thing of like I'm gonna kill you now, and then they're like going on a monologue. Like it's the same kind of behavior where like for some reason you're trying to draw
it's a
out.
trope.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do the inescapable laser,
and then you're good.
And just once, and it's over.
Right, you don't have to do 1 and 2.
Yeah,
it's so stupid.
Like put them through the ringer first.
Yeah,
make them do some gymnastics.
Right,
and then just kill them. Like it's like for the Red Queen's entertainment. It's like, can they dodge that? Can they dodge that?
Right.
All right, this guy's pissing me off. Kill him.
Like fine, like give him the full thing.
Right. So I mean. It works in the first film because it's just kind of like, oh, he's screwed. But like once, I don't know, at that point, it's like, just do it from there. But it is what it is. It's a trope, as I said. Now, there is one, though, where it's like coming in like 3 diagonals. And Alice kind of gets up and dodges it like this way in the middle. So like her body misses it. But then Isaac's kind of leans back. And he only leans back from the second one. But it's like, dude, there was a third one down here that would have cut your legs off.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to watch it again, but I am pretty much positive. There's no way, because of how it's slanted. Yeah. You could not stand anywhere.
Right.
And not have your feet at bare minimum cut off.
Yeah.
Right? Because the last angle, the one on the bottom, goes from here to the floor. Yeah. Right? It goes all the way down to the floor. So there's no place to the floor and the wall. Yeah. Right? It meets at the floor and the wall.
There's no like area for him.
So there's nowhere for him to kind of lean back and stand. Yeah. Without getting his legs cut off. Right. That actually made me like, and that's the kind of shit. That's when you know you're watching a dumb movie. Mm-hmm. Is when something happens that's so dumb, you actually have to question your own integrity. Because you're like, there's no way that's that dumb. I have to have missed something, and I didn't. It's just that dumb. So it actually made me question if I was dumb, but it's because it's so dumb that I can't possibly fathom that this made it past like an editor or a writing team where they were like, or producers or whatever. They're like,
that's fine.
Do you remember like there's another line that would have cut his legs off? Like, why didn't anyone call this out? Yeah. But I guess to be in their defense, the visual effect hadn't been created at that point, so they don't know he just was like, oh yeah, just duck back and you'll miss the laser. And then he watched it and he was probably like, but what about the bottom laser? Like, I didn't
duck
miss that one.
laser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was the actor, I'd have been like, Paul.
Like, listen,
bro,
you gotta get rid of that second laser.
As far as like the clones thinking they're real people, that's always like a trope that's like really screwed up.
Yes.
And it's like, man, that's evil. For them to like put them out there and like this Isaacs is like, no, I'm the real one. But it makes sense because it's like no one wants to be the clone. So you always make them think they're not. It's kind of like, it reminds me of the dudes in Invincible. Mm-hmm. Remember? Mm-hmm. We remember when we watched Invincible? Mm-hmm. And like the opening villains are those guys who are like clones, and it's always like, I'm the original.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is really messed up, but it's like, even if you're a clone, like, you're still a person, even if you're not the original person that the clone was based on, but yeah.
Finally, because the antivirus is released very believably into the atmosphere and kills all of the zombies in front of her instantaneously, it spreads across the entire land right there in front of her very easily. Even though I see like no wind blowing.
Yeah.
It kills the T virus in her. All her healthy cells remain, and so she lives. And so here's the problem: the T virus is what gave her her powers.
Yes, that she was never.
But to be fair, when she lost her powers, she was still pretty powerful.
It didn't matter.
It didn't make any difference. But I just, at the end when she's riding and there's the like monster in her rear view, I'm like, I hope she realizes like she doesn't have her powers anymore.
Yeah.
Because she shouldn't.
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because Alice, her name is Alice.
Yep.
Okay? You don't have to have powers because she is Alice. That's why she keeps saying it. Like, you can take my powers away, but I'm still Alice. I'm Alice. My name is Alice.
Bro.
In case you forgot. My name's Alice. What's her name?
I don't know.
We should consult the movie. If anybody watches this franchise and is like, because sometimes I shouldn't say sometimes, a lot of the times we forget characters' names.
Yeah.
But if you forgot Alice's name in this franchise, dude, you were straight up dead.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. They say her name so much. Every 5 minutes. Project Alice. Identified Alice. There's Alice.
My name is Alice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take all ice. All the ice. Alice? No.
All ice?
Yeah.
I'll take Alice.
Al ice.
I'll take Al's ice.
No, don't try to help me. That's that, guys.
We're done.
The Resident Evil
No more.
Paul W.S. Anderson franchise has come to a close. We're going to take a little break from this because we were going to do Welcome to Raccoon City next. Honestly, it probably would make sense to do it next because it is an increase in the franchise for sure. It is. It's much better than these movies. It's still not awesome to me, but it is much better. So it probably would be good to watch it to be like, whoa, this is so much better. But you just want a
palate cleanser. Yeah, I don't want to be in the Resident Evil universe.
So I had suggested the Blind Dead films, the Spanish monster movies. I'm hoping I do have them out. I didn't pack them in case Kaylee was interested. But Tombs of the Blind Dead, Return of the Evil Dead, The Ghost Galleon, and Night of the Seagulls. So hopefully in the future, next Monday, we'll start that franchise.
Yeah.
We'll let you know if we change our minds. But other than that, guys, we did it. A lot of people were like, well, why even bother if you don't like these movies? Because we are committed.
Yeah.
And we said we were going to do it, and we did it. We're not quitters.
I would have quit.
I had a good time talking about them. I didn't have a good time watching them.
I had a good time talking about them, but yeah, I didn't have a good time watching them. So I guess it was worth it because I got to talk to you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go inject myself with the T-virus and blow my brains out.
What? No.
All right. Well, my name is Jason.
My name is Kaylee.
And I'm out.